welcome to another trip report and welcome to my spare room, where I'm just going to take a few moments to tell you a few things that you need to know before watching the trip report in full. The first thing you need to know is this is an airline and train trip review channel. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you're not familiar with it, I have to be honest with every single video that I put out to my subscribers. I've got nearly 50,000 of them at the time that I have uploaded this video, and they trust me to be honest. So this video is going to be an honest appraisal of Scoot Airlines, nothing more, nothing less, and it will simply cover the experience I had on the day that I travelled. The second thing that you need to know is that although I do an awful lot of travelling, especially in premium cabins like business class, I am really grateful for that, and I don't want to come across as really entitled like some people do on YouTube. The fact of the matter is I travel in all cabins, first class, business class, economy class. I travel low cost with airlines just like Scoot a lot, and I think I've been really fair with low cost airlines. Low cost airlines are a fantastic way to get about, and there is certainly no shame in taking low cost or budget airlines. Ryanair and EasyJet was how I got into flying in the first place. They've got a special place in my heart. Budget flying is usually absolutely brilliant value, and I don't want you to think that I'm just some guy that flies around the world in first class all the time. It's definitely not like that. And the final thing that you need to know is that I had a bit of a strange experience on this particular flight. It was something that wasn't actually filmed. Just before we landed in Singapore, maybe about 20-25 minutes before landing, I needed to use the bathroom, so I got up from my seat, went to use the bathroom, was in there for about 20 seconds, and there was the most horrendous turbulence that lifted me off my feet. The seatbelt signs come on, and I have to make a judgment call. After I finish going to the toilet, do I try and go back to my seat when the aircraft is jolting so much that it's lifting me physically off my feet, or do I stay in the toilet? And I made the decision that I should stay in the toilet and simply ride it out. Sit down, hold on to the bars. That's the safest place for me to be, not just for myself, but also for everybody else on that flight, because there's one thing that I really didn't want to happen, which was to start walking back to my seat and be lifted off my feet again and just turn into a human missile and potentially hurt myself and or somebody else. Now, after I'd ridden out that turbulence, which lasts for about 3 or 4 minutes, after I'd ridden out the turbulence, I headed back to my seat, where I was confronted by one of the cabin crew who said that I'd broken the law by visiting the toilet while the seatbelt sign was on. It's definitely not what I did. I visited the toilet before the seatbelt sign came on, was in the toilet while the sign was on, was holding on to the bar and the side of the toilet and keeping myself safe, and only went back to the toilet when the seatbelt sign had turned off. I've done an awful lot of flying, and disobeying seatbelt signs is not the kind of thing that I do, and no matter what I did, I couldn't convince her that I hadn't done anything wrong. It was very frustrating to me to have an interaction with a cabin crew member who was so bloody minded and wouldn't accept that I hadn't done anything wrong. At the end of the day, nothing really happened. It was a disagreement, and it further soured a bad experience with Scoot, who were pretty terrible from start to finish, as you're going to see in this video. Without further ado, let's wind the clock back a couple of months and head back and see me in Bangkok just before I'm about to get on the flight. Let's go and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to another trip report, number 9 of 25 of my round the world tour. I'm at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi Airport, which is the main airport serving Bangkok, but it's not actually here that I need to be. Today I'm flying with Scoot, which is Singapore Airlines low-cost subsidiary, in business class down to Singapore, and we need to get to Don Mueang Airport, which is across town. So let's go take the transfer and check it out. There's a free bus transfer between Suvarnabhumi and Don Mueang. You need to head down to arrivals near the tour service desk at door 3, go through the door, find the bus and look for these guys. They'll check your boarding pass for your onward flight and stamp your hand. That's your ticket. The bus isn't modern, but there's space for bags and there's air conditioning. The ride is mostly along motorways and takes around an hour, but can be more depending on traffic. Don Mueang's Terminal 1 is horrendous. It's a ghastly mess, crowded, disorganised with queues and people everywhere.
Terminal 1 handles international flights and is where Scoot operate from. I recommend spending some time in Terminal 2, which is a short walk away. It's far nicer and more civilised and has a pretty good food court on the mezzanine level. This Ronald McDonald statue is about 10 times as creepy as the cardboard cutout lady we saw at the Thai lounge in the last video. Of course, I have to go back to Terminal 1 to check in. Check-in was a frustrating experience, which I'll come on to in just a moment. There is a good lounge here, but Scoot Biz doesn't include access, so I used my priority pass to get in for a very quick visit. I'll review it in another video. Today's flight is actually the continuation of a service from Tokyo Narita. The flight lands here from Tokyo, some people leave for Bangkok, some are going all the way to Singapore, and some, like me, are just here for the Bangkok to Singapore part. Okay, so while I'm walking to the gate, let me give you a rundown as to why it took me nearly an hour to get from check-in to where I am now. At check-in, the queue was about 20 minutes long, and although there was a business class line, it wasn't actually roped off so anyone could use it, so there wasn't really any point to having the business class check-in. Then the queue for passports was about 25 minutes long. When I finally get to the front, the guy behind the counter says, "Where's your departure card?" I don't have a departure card, and apparently it turns out that when you enter Thailand, you are given, or supposed to be given, a departure card, which is a small piece of paper. It wasn't given to me. I had an arrival card, but they took the departure portion off me as well in Bangkok airport, so it seems. So anyway, I had to go all the way back to check in to pick up a new departure card. I was actually directed by the staff to push past them rather than actually cutting the line. I had to push past about 200 different people, none of whom spoke any English, to listen to my explanation as to why I was doing that. So I've had to endure that social shame, I'm afraid, as well as not feeling particularly great this afternoon. But anyway, it is just about boarding time, heading to gate 26. I'm hoping my day starts looking up as soon as I board the aircraft. Unfortunately, things were only going to get worse. Scoot advertised priority boarding as one of the things you pay for as part of business class, but they just didn't bother here. Same as they didn't bother providing the advertised check-in either. There was literally no priority boarding, and passengers from Tokyo were boarded first. There might be a good operational reason as to why that happens, but you shouldn't advertise stuff you don't deliver. Anyway, I'm on my way to the aircraft, which is my time to let you know you should follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you don't already. It's there that I live vlog all my trips in real time. Scoot's 787-8 is mostly economy, but there is a small business class cabin with 21 seats at the front of the aircraft. This is my seat, 3A, which is just fine for the 2-hour trip into Singapore. There's a small pre-departure drink of water, which is very welcome. Bangkok is extremely humid. Oh, and the legroom on these seats is pretty good. I think that's one of the last good things I have to say about Scoot. So off we go and head south towards Singapore, and it's a good time to look at the route we're taking today. This flight covers 892 miles and will take us 2 hours and 5 minutes at an altitude of 37,000 feet. Now let's find out more about Scoot's product. Scoot has onboard Wi-Fi on their 787 aircraft, but the prices are some of the highest I've seen for Wi-Fi. I didn't bother. I was very surprised to see that in economy there's at-seat power, but you have to pay to make your socket work. It costs the airline nothing at all to supply the power once they have the socket installed, so that's a ridiculous thing to charge for. Lucky me, my sockets are complimentary in Scoot Biz. Scoot also have in-flight entertainment delivered over the Wi-Fi, but infuriatingly this requires an app to play anything, and no, you can't download the app on board unless you pay for Wi-Fi. Stupid. So if you go for this product, find the app beforehand and download it if this matters to you. One form of entertainment Scoot does keep free is looking out of the window. Scoot Biz comes with a free business class meal. Mine is makhani chicken, which was served without any care or pride. I've eaten a lot of economy and budget meals which look a hell of a lot better than this. The container was also difficult to open as the lid had melted during reheating, meaning you can't peel it off properly. Here's the delicious looking meal in the in-flight magazine, and here's the dreadful mess I was served. This looked and tasted terrible, and the rice was completely dry. This meal shouldn't be served in any economy class, let alone a product which dares to call itself Biz. My Japanese seatmate was much wiser than me and had gone for a pot noodle type snack, which is impossible to get wrong. The seats have a manual recline function which worked, and the recline is pretty okay to be fair. The toilet was also clean, although I did take this shot before takeoff, so I've no idea if it stayed that way. Now for Scoot's trump card. Look at this lovely menu. And now look at the prices. That meal on Singapore-Athens, an 11-hour flight, is probably the same quality as the one I was served and cost a staggering 50 Singapore dollars. That's nearly £30 or 37 US dollars. The worst part is that Scoot ban you from taking your own food on board all flights. This is a horrible, mean policy to keep customers captive, and is the thing that enraged me the most about Scoot. Flying budget is about saving costs and increasing choice, like choosing not to take a whole bag and carry less, or choosing whether to pay to sit near the exits, or choosing whether you want to buy a meal on board or save money and take your own food. Anyway, after a couple of hours we were on final approach to Singapore. Very disappointed, as I'd been very excited to try Scoot because I know a lot of people really love them. Sadly, I didn't. So, to sum up, Scoot didn't provide the advertised check-in, didn't provide the advertised priority boarding, the food was some of the worst I've had, their in-flight entertainment was dumb and confusing. I mean, imagine not being able to download the app in-flight, come on guys. Their staff were rude to me and wouldn't accept their mistake, and their policies include charging for things even Ryanair wouldn't dream of, as well as banning you from taking your own food on board. On the plus side, the 787 is a lovely aircraft, and I thought the seat was good. This flight cost £144 one way, which is around 183 US dollars. I thought it was a waste of money, and I won't fly them again.
So that's it, and welcome to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. Well done. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. I really hope that this video has maybe put into perspective some of the very good experiences that I've had, And if there's one thing that I really think my channel tries to convey more than anything else, is a sense of inspiration, the fact that travel can be easy and is usually good value, as long as you know where to look. Unfortunately, my experience with Scoot was very bad, and I can't say that that particular journey was good value. But please do leave your comments below, and I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. That is not even halfway through my 25-leg round the world tour. There's so much more to come on this channel that I know you're going to love, so please drop me a subscription, comment in the comment section below, and give me a thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you around.